Queen. I appreciate that. And it's always great to see all of our Digi Millionaires coming out to the webinar. It's also fabulous to see so many newer names and some names that I know from the past but hadn't seen in a while. So it's good to see you as well. Real quickly in your questions box, if you are brand spanking new, if this is the first time that you've been on a live webinar with us, in your questions box, would you put first or one or something like that, just so I will know who my first timers are. Awesome. Awesome. Oh, wow. Good stuff. Good stuff. They're coming in. All right. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. And let's make sure that we set the proper expectations. This is not going to be one of those 20, 30-minute webinars just designed to get you to feel good. We are going to give you some very thorough information, education, training. Okay. It's going to be about 75 minutes. So I want you to clear off your schedule right now. Make sure that you've got, no texting, no Skyping and Facebooking and all that good stuff. Okay. Now I will say this as a just in case, my lovely wife, she's a kidney patient and she's been going 3 times a week to kidney dialysis in a treatment center. And we started last week training so that she could actually come home and do dialysis at home. We just got out of training. I mean, like literally in the past 30 minutes or so. This is the first time she's actually dialyzing at night. And so in the event that she needs me, as much as I love you, I will put my husband hat on first, always. Husband hat, father hat, and what have you. I don't expect there to be any issues, but in the event that she needs me, then I'll have to put my husband hat on and just make sure she's okay. All right. And prayerfully, all of you have your faith first, your family second. And, business is, while it's very important, isn't all consuming. All right. Now, with that being said, I want to congratulate some of our members. There was an ICO, initial coin offering that we shared with our audience a few weeks ago, and a few of our members were able to take advantage of that. One gentleman, of course, we always teach never if you can't afford to lose it, you can't afford to invest it. So never invest what you are not willing to lose. He deployed $1,500 of his hard-earned capital into that asset, about $1 a token. And an initial coin offering is like an initial public offering in the stock market. In this coin market that we're going to be talking about for the next 75 minutes, we have something called initial coin offerings. This was about, gosh, how long ago was this? Let's call it 6 weeks ago. Okay. And just before we came into the webinar, I checked and that asset was trading for about $14.65. Quick math, his $1,500 is now worth about $21,975 in, let's call it, under 8 weeks, 6 weeks or so, thereabout. Okay. And he's considering taking about 10,000 of that and deploying that into one of our auto Digi platforms, one of which we'll talk about on tonight. And should he do that, it's likely that that auto Digi platform will generate about $3,000 a month for him in Digi profits. So how about we talk about this kind of stuff with the next 73 or so minutes that we have? All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, our objective tonight, if we do our job properly, is to reveal to you a believable path, and we're going to do our job, a believable path to you becoming a Bitcoin, or what we like to refer to as Digi. We like to refer to this entire space as Digi, short for digital currencies. All right, so if we do our job, and we're going to do our job, you're going to walk away saying, man, woman, I can become a Digi millionaire. And then we're going to show you our 5-step Digi Millionaire Roadmap to help that come to pass. So it's not just marketing and it's not just the feel goods, but we've got a solid foundation with which to build our Digi enterprise. Now, I want you to clear off all distractions. Make sure that you're watching tonight's training, depending on what part of the world you're in. It could be, during the day over there. And what was that, sunny Malaysia? All right, watch it on your best device. Let's go to work. Oh my gosh, had we known the power of this Bitcoin industry, back in 2010, had you just parked $100 into Bitcoin, your $100 would be worth $75 million, reports the Washington Post. However, this $75 million figure is inaccurate today because this figure was based on what Bitcoin was going for back on May 23rd of this year. Bitcoin was going for $2,200 a coin then. Bitcoin is going for about $6,600, $6,700 a coin now. So we've got to triple that number. Had you and I, Florence, invested $100, could you imagine, Jeffrey Bean? You'd be worth over $225 million today. Joe, you probably wouldn't be on the webinar, would you? I'm telling you, I wouldn't be teaching the webinar. We would have just recorded this thing and let you watch the recording, and we'd be retired. So, ladies and gentlemen, we can't go back and roll back the time and invest $100 in a Bitcoin 10 years ago. I'm sorry, back in 2010. But what we can do is we can control what happens today and tomorrow and the next week and the month after that and years after that, assuming the heavens allow us to see the next day and a week after that and the months after that, so on and so forth. That's what we're going to talk about. Now, if you are new to this Bitcoin niche and you know little to nothing about Bitcoin, Ada, that's okay. Let's give you a little basic training here. Bitcoin is a form of digital currency. It's created and it's held electronically. Here's the key part, George. No one controls it. So it can't be manipulated like the Federal Reserve manipulated the U.S. money supply. And sure, they said, you know, 2008, there's an economic crisis and we need to print up all this money and that's going to help save us from ourselves. The problem with that is that whenever you create all of this newfound money, it reduces the value of existing money. So now you have to have more dollars to buy the same stuff. That's called, Gail, inflation. Well, with Bitcoin, guess what? It's decentralized, meaning there's no central authority. You don't have to get anybody's permission. There's no government that, you know, you got to pass some laws. There's no big banks involved. This is the internet. This is the money of the people. Okay, people are saying, you know what? I'm tired of these freaking governments controlling everything, setting systems up so the rich get richer and the middle class, they fade, and the poor, you know, bless their hearts, they just get poor. And folks are getting fed up with that. And so now you have this currency that's digital. You'll never touch it. All right. And now not only is it Bitcoin, but it's well over 1,200 other types of digital currencies. Now, let's think some things through. Why would merchants want to take Bitcoin? Why would merchants want to take Bitcoin? Well, taking Bitcoin solves two major problems that merchants have. One major problem is every time someone swipes that MasterCard, that Visa, that American Express, that Discover, it costs the merchant a few percentage points, right? Might be 2%, might be 1.9%, depending on the niche that that merchant is in. If they're in the home business niche, like a network marketing company, you know, they might charge 7 or 8%. How do I know? Because I was a part owner once upon a time of a network marketing company, and they charge network marketing companies a whole lot more. And so with Bitcoin and other digital currencies now that are being used as tender for goods and services, all right, so here's a site called gift.com, and you can see not only do they take Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and PayPal and what have you, they also take Bitcoin, okay? The fees are much lower. That's one challenge that Bitcoin and other related currencies, digital currencies, provide for merchants, lower costs. Two, another major problem that merchants have are, and they're almost connected, all right, fraud risk and then chargeback risk. And they almost come together, because if someone is a victim of fraud and they notice that some charges on their credit card that they didn't authorize, what are they going to do? They're going to charge that back. They're going to call up the credit card company and say, hey, I think I've been a victim of fraud. And then that purchase or purchases will be charged back. And in many cases, the company has already delivered the product or delivered the service. All right. And so some companies, tens of millions of dollars a year lost due to fraud and or chargeback risk. Well, listen, here's the one thing you've got to be careful of when you're in this space, Charlie. Make sure that when you are sending your Bitcoin or your Ethereum, Ethereum is another major player in this space. When you're sending, Barbara, your digital currency, make sure you know who you're sending it to or where you're sending it, that you feel good about that company or what have you, that they're going to deliver the product or service that you are paying for. Because here's the thing. If you send it, Daniel, and once it's sent, it's sent. There is no company for you to call up saying, hey, can I get my Bitcoin back? It doesn't work that way. Now, merchants absolutely love that. If you were a merchant, you'd love that too. So why would you and I love, Jim, this space? Well, how about this? One of the reasons my family and I relocated from the US to our beautiful tropical paradise is we just got tired of Big Brother always prying in our business. My gosh. Yeah, proud to be an American. Well, at least I know I'm free. Boy, I should have sung that. That was a country hit. I should have sung that to give you a little bit of our golden silky. Proud to be an American. Well, at least I know I'm free. My gosh, that boy is talented. My gosh. One of the reasons we left is because we just wanted freedom. We wanted more freedom. We wanted more financial freedom. We didn't always want Big Brother prying into all of our affairs and what have you. So one of the reasons that people love this space is they get some of that privacy back that we no longer have through the regular banking system. So here we were a few years ago, 2011, 2012, we were promoting a particular offer. We've been in the investment and the marketing arenas since 1994. And now we've built 6. We used to say 5, but we just did the numbers. We now have built the 6th one. We'll share with you that 6th one tonight. We now have developed 6 7-figure business enterprises. And so in 2011, 2012, we're doing phenomenally well financially. My attorney said, hey, you guys need to consider diversifying and even diversifying your financial holdings outside of the U.S. Maybe look at some other business interests that's got nothing to do with the home business arena, investments and things of that nature. And we started doing that. And one of the things that we wanted to do is we wanted to have an Amazon business, a fulfillment by Amazon business. And we sourced some products out of China and all that good stuff. And now all of a sudden we were starting to do some commerce offshore. We were still living in the US at the time. And we had several fairly decent size wire transfers that were leaving the US and going to other countries for us to do business. And all of a sudden, one of my banks, out of the blue, basically sent me a letter and said, well, my debit card wasn't working. We had just come back from an international trip to Chile and a big investment workshop. And my debit card wasn't working. Couldn't figure out why my debit card wasn't working. Well, it was because they had sent me a letter while I was in another country, by the way, saying, we're closing your account. They never gave me a reason why. And it turns out, I'm assuming, is we were doing far too many international wires. Well, see, that's what I'm saying. You see how the system is set up to keep the man, to keep you down. The system is set up to keep you down. They don't want average, everyday folks. But Bitcoin says we don't care. We want average, everyday folks to leverage what we're doing. We were developed so that average, everyday folks could get from up under the thumb of oppression, the thumb of Big Brother. And why we love Bitcoin is because you can do a $10,000 transaction, a $50,000 transaction, a $500,000 transaction. You don't have to ask anybody's permission. And it only takes, in many cases, just a few minutes for that to go from where you want it to go, from your account, your address, to whomever you want to send it, or vice versa. Okay, so that's a little about Bitcoin education. Now let's get you on the roadmap to you becoming a Digi Millionaire. So here's what they're saying, that Bitcoin price, which is currently about $6,600, $6,700, It's going to hit 250,000 as early as 2020 if the 7-year trend continues. Note, you will never have a Bitcoin in your hand. It's all virtual. Note, you don't have to buy a full coin. So Bitcoin's right now going for about $6,700 a coin. You don't have to buy a full coin. It was fantastic. The nurse that's working with my wife and myself, beautiful lady. Just, I love this woman because she is passionate about what she does. She's been so patient with us as she's teaching us this home dialysis. And a few months ago, at the beginning of the year, she bought some Bitcoin. It was going for about $600 a coin. And she hasn't looked at it since. She had no idea. She had no idea what has happened to her Bitcoin holdings. So she said, I bought one Bitcoin and I think it was like somewhere between 500 or 600 bucks. Let's go on the high end of 600. All right. And I assumed she was paying attention to what was going on. And she says, I just felt impressed that I needed to buy some. I'd heard a little bit about it, and I found out how to buy some, and I bought some, and I haven't looked at it since. I said, oh, so you have no idea what your Bitcoin's doing right now. You've got no idea. She's like, no, I haven't even looked at it. I said, oh, okay, well, do you want to know? Well, sure. Oh, it's only going for about $6,600 now. Huh? Really? Yeah, your $500-600 is now going for. Now, here's the thing. You don't have to buy a full Bitcoin. Just like in US dollars are denominated, not just in dollars, but you can use pennies, right? 0.01. In the Bitcoin space, things are denominated with 8 places beyond the decimal. So 0.000000001. So you can buy a fraction of 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 a Bitcoin. You want to do a transaction that's $2.37 in Bitcoin, you can do that. Okay. All right, now $250,000. So if you want to be a Digi Millionaire, if these numbers come to fruition, all you got to have is 4 Bitcoin, and you'd be a Digi Millionaire if and when it gets to 250,000. I don't think it's an if question. I think it's just a when question. So here's this gentleman by the name of Jameson Lopp. He is an engineer in the Bitcoin space, really big in the Bitcoin space, and he went back to 2010 and he looked at the average daily value change. From day to day on average, how much did Bitcoin go up or down or up? And in 2010, on average, Bitcoin went up 0.82% a day. I want you to compare that to your best investment right now. Compare that to your stock brokerage account. Compare that to your mutual fund account. Compare that to your savings account at the bank. Not 0.82% a year. This was 0.82% average per day. Look at 2013, 1.11% a day. Now, what dominates the financial news? You don't hear a lot about Bitcoin in the mass media. What dominates the financial news, and I've traded in the financial markets since 1999. Got licensed in 94 to deal with mutual funds. Started trading in the financial market, stock market in 99, Forex market 2003, so on and so forth. Okay. What dominates the financial market news is how much the U.S. stock market has grown since 2008. 2008 being the financial crisis, the trough, the bottom of the market. From the bottom of the market in 2008, the stock market now at all-time highs is up about 300%. From 2008 to 2017, 9 years, is up about 300%. Meaning that if you had just invested whatever back in 2008, chances are you're up triple in profits. Beautiful, right? But look at 2013. In 1 year, Bitcoin was up well over 300%, well over, as it averaged 1.11% a day. So Jameson Lopp is saying, if Bitcoin just does the next 3 years and some change, what Bitcoin has done the last 7 years and some change, the price of Bitcoin would soar to $250,000 a coin. What if he's right? Now, he might be right on the number, might be wrong on the time. Maybe it happens before, maybe it happens a little bit later. I've seen some other things that suggest that by 2025, we're probably looking at Bitcoin prices in the $500,000 to $1 million coin range. And one of the reasons, if you're new to this space, is because there will ever only be 21 million Bitcoins ever in circulation. That's it. And there's 16 million now. So there's ever only going to be created another 5 million Bitcoin. That's it. And so when you have limited supply, but you've got ever increasing demand, what happens? Prices go up. All right. So now it's not just Bitcoin. Not just Bitcoin. Ladies and gentlemen, this niche is going to allow you to compress time frames. If you are behind on retirement, if you are behind on your children's college education, if you had purposed in your heart to help start a foundation in the name of your grandmama or your grandpapa or whoever impacted you or whatever that field is for you, that passion, that love is for you, had all these great ideas as a teenager and fresh out of college, and then life happened, and maybe you put your dreams on the shelf because it takes some money to help finance some of those dreams. Ladies and gentlemen, this niche can allow you to compress those time frames and get those dreams off the shelf and blow off the dust. Doggone it. Look at what happened in just 10, 11 days. From April the 30th to May the 10th, Bitcoin, these assets, there's well over 1,000 of these Digi assets. They trade. Just like the US has a stock market and you have trading symbols for various assets. Apple Computer is AAPL. Microsoft is MSFT, trading symbol. These assets also have trading symbols. So Bitcoin is BTC. Look, it was up 34% in 10, 11 days. Now, when I first got into this industry, I got licensed in the mutual fund arena back in 1994. And our best, I won't say our best fund, but the fund that they wanted us to promote the most, the company that I was promoting for, had averaged 18.4% for the previous 10 years. And 18% of your fund will double your account every 40 years or so. And boy, we sold loads of that particular mutual fund. If I had had a fund that had a year, that it did 34% in a year, the fund manager would have been on Forbes magazine, Barron's, Wall Street Journal, every major financial news publication. They probably would have been on all of the news networks, particularly the financial news networks, because that is a heck of a return for a year. This was not a year. This was 11 days. But it's not just Bitcoin. Look, here's Ripple. 238%. XRP. Here is Stellar Lumens, XLM, up 489% in 11 days. What does that mean, up 489%? It means that your money would have grown by a factor of 4.89 times. Almost 5 times your money. $100 would have made $490 in 11 days. $1,000 would have made $4,890 in 11 days. Never seen anything like it. And I've traded in the stock market. I've traded stock options. I've traded foreign exchange market. I've traded binary options. By the way, stay away from binary options. So many sharks in that water. Nasty, nasty, filthy, filthy. The brokers can't be trusted. Stay away from that industry. I hate that industry. After it slapped me around for several tens of thousands of dollars. Okay. But the stock market, the Forex market, and we've been trading in some form or fashion. We've been in investing since 94. But actually trading, paying attention day to day to the markets since 99. Never seen anything like what we're saying. So let's talk about our 5-step Digi Millionaire Roadmap. Step number 1, Digi education. Got to get a little education. You're not going to become a Digi Millionaire if you're not willing to get a little Digi education. Number 2, developing your own coin portfolio, something that you own, something that you control. And I'm going to prove that in just a few moments, that the best way for you to become a Digi Millionaire is for you to have your own Digi portfolio that you own, that you control. Number 3, participate in our auto Digi profit systems. We're going to leverage third-party systems that's going to allow us to generate Digi profits right away in as little as 24 hours, even if you know very little about the Digi space. Okay, they're going to become a cash flow mechanisms for us, cash flow machines, so that we can ultimately not only take some of that cash flow and add to our family budget, but also take some of that cash flow and build our coin portfolio. Number 4, we're going to help you develop a following, help you develop a team of folks that's going to buy into what we're teaching. Because with these auto Digi profit systems, most of them have some type of referral concept to them, and they will allow you to fast forward your progress, or fast forward your time to get to Digi Millionaire status. I'm going to show you that on tonight. I'm going to show you the tale of 2 accounts. Someone who's not referred anyone to what we're doing, and they're just participating in our auto Digi profit systems, and they're doing exceptionally well. And I'm going to show you inside of another account where the person is building a referral network, and you be the judge of which one you want. By the way, if you suck at marketing, you're not good at marketing, what have you, don't worry, we've got your back. We've got a search traffic agency. We've got testing going on as we speak. And very soon we'll be launching our full-scale advertising campaign. You'll be able to leverage lead capture page systems, video follow-up sequences, all the stuff that you need to have to build any worthwhile online enterprise we'll have for you. And all you have to do is plug in. And then number 5, there's going to be no shortage of other credible Digi opportunities that will come across our desk. Some of them will come across our desk because some of you will be the ones that tell us about it. And we will evaluate them, we will test them, and the ones that we feel are legitimate, we will share with our audience so that you can diversify your risks. All right, so let me show you that developing your own coin portfolio by far is the best way for you to become a Digi Millionaire. We're going to use a site called coinmarketcap.com. Give me a moment. We're going to use a site called coinmarketcap.com. Bear with me. Let me get my size right. Let's do this. And I want to show you, because this is something that you can do on your own. Okay, so right now, as we just refreshed the screen, Bitcoin is going for close to $6,800. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to open up 2 tabs here at coinmarketcap.com. So give me just a moment and let me refresh this other screen. All right, and so we're going to look at the prevailing price of Bitcoin, $6,792.98. We're going to put this in our calculator. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to open up another tab. By the way, this is probably the leading site right now for those of us that are in the Digi space, and you'll see there's a lot of advertising that goes on. Over here, this is an offer that's advertising an ICO, an initial coin offering. Now, I don't want you just going out and participating in all ICOs. What we have found is that a lot of these ICOs, you know, they'll be hyped, but you'll wind up losing money. Okay, we have found a niche where the ICOs, at least the ones that we've participated in, have generated some wild profits. The lowest of which so far has been 100% return in about 5-6 weeks. So a doubling of our capital. One that we're in right now, that some of our other members are in, went from $1 to just under $15 and we're still in that one. Okay, so that's, you know, some 1,300, 1,400% return or something like that in just a few weeks' time. And our best one so far was a 97-cent investment. So each, what they refer to these as tokens. Each token was 97 cents, and we held on to it until it actually went up to $97. And we shedded most of the position to take some profits because we anticipated it was going to come down further at $88, 8,972% return in 6 weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, that's life-changing. That is absolutely life-changing. Okay, here we go. So 67.92 is the prevailing price. On the second tab, I'm going to go under where it says tools, where it says historical snapshots. This will allow us to go back in time and take a look at what was happening. Let's say we won't go all the way back to 2013. Let's go back a year ago. Okay, let's go back to 2016. And today's date in my part of the world is November the 14th. So let's see if we can get as close to November the 14th, 2016. And we've got November the 13th. So this is just a year and a day. All right, so I'm going to left click here, and you're going to see the historical snapshot, November 13th, 2016. What was Bitcoin going for about a year ago, a year and a day ago? It was going for $695.80. My goodness, what's it going for now? $6,792.98. So we're going to take today. We're going to take today's prevailing price. We're going to subtract out what you could have purchased it for a year ago per coin, and this is going to tell us our profit. Our profit is $6,097.18. We're then going to take this and divide our profit by our starting point, or what could have been our starting point in this scenario. And this is going to tell us what our rate of return is, or could have been. All right, so take the 6,997.18 divided by 695.80, and you come up with a figure that says 8.76. Now, you've got to move your decimal 2 points to the right. And when you do that, you come up with an 876% return. Okay, so what does all that really mean? What does all that really mean? Okay, because maybe you're not a numbers person. Maybe percentages and decimals maybe throw you off. That's okay. All right. What this means is your money would have grown, your value would have grown by a factor of 8.76 times. What? Yes, $100 invested in Bitcoin a year ago would have grown by 8.76 times, or would have profited $876. So think about this: your $100 sitting in your savings account for a year, how much would have grown by? Or $1,000 in Bitcoin a year ago, you would have come back today. Remember, my wife's nurse, love this woman. Man, she's not just doing this for a paycheck. She loves her patients. She bought some Bitcoin earlier this year when it had taken a little dip into the $500-600 range and hadn't paid any attention to it since. $1,000 would have made $8,762. But it's not just Bitcoin. Not just Bitcoin. Let me show you something. Not just Bitcoin. My gosh. Talk about being able, give me a moment, to compress time frames. When I was selling mutual funds, our best fund, I won't say our best, the one they wanted us to sell the most, had averaged 18% a year for the previous 10 years. That means your money would have doubled roughly every 4 years. With Bitcoin, in the past 12 months, your money would have grown by a factor of 8, almost by a factor of 9. Okay, so about a month ago, I update this every month, and we've gotten behind because my wife and I are in training, and so I haven't been able to be as active in business over the past week and a half. And so I'm not finished the new update. So we're going to go back to last month. All right, so last month on October the 17th, I looked at prices from October the 16th of 2016. And you can see that Bitcoin was 640 October 16th. It was $5,600 just a month ago. Now it's at $6,700. Just a month ago, it was $5,600. Now it's at $6,700 a month later. Okay. Back then, a full month ago, Bitcoin was up 780%. So that $1,000 invested in Bitcoin in that 12-month cycle from October the 16th to October the 17th would have profited $7,797. Now, as impressive as that was, since that's coming from a month ago and we're updating those figures now, it's not just Bitcoin. Ethereum was up 2,581% from an $11 pricing, almost $12 pricing to $320. 2,581% in 1 year. Your money would have grown by a factor of 25.81 times, almost 26 times your money. Your $1,000 would have been $25,810 in profit. Maybe you didn't have $1,000. Maybe you just parked $100 in Ethereum. Take off this last number here. Your $100 would have profited $2,581. Listen, you could get off this webinar if you want to and not take action. Not going to hurt me. Not going to hurt Robert. Not going to hurt Harvey. Don't you dare get this information and do nothing with it, because my voice will be in your head. It'll wake you up in the middle of the night. You got to get some Bitcoin. Get in this niche. It's going to allow you to compress some time frames. Some of us need a time frame compressor. Time frame compressor, TFP. No, TFC. If you need a TFC, if you need a time frame compressor in your questions box, put time frame compressor. Put TFC. There we go. We need time frame compressor. I need one. I'm not where I want to be when I wanted to be there. That's why I'm doing these webinars. TFC, yeah. Look, Ripple, 2,870%. I had never heard of Ripple prior to maybe 6 or 7 months ago. Litecoin, 1,450%. Dash, 2,614%. Let me, NIM, 5,300%. Let me fast forward real quickly. I'm not finished this. All right, we normally pull out like 20 assets to do this on. And I was doing this right as we were getting on, because again, I've been really tied up the last week and a half, not had a chance to do a lot of business. All right, so look now, Bitcoin. A year ago, yesterday, it was going for $695.80. Now it's going for $67.17. That was before I got on the webinar. It's now going for almost $6,800, 865%, right? Impressive. Ethereum over the last 12 months is up 3,200. Ripple over the last 12 months is up 2,500. Litecoin is up 1,597%. Monero is worth 1,475%. Dash, I'd never heard of Dash prior to March of this year. Up 4,391%. $1,000 in Dash this time last year would have profited $43,906 a year later. With my finished spreadsheet here, we took 20 assets. And we said, had we parked just $1,000 into 20 assets, all right, here are your column, your rates of return. You get down here and you see 65% and you're just disappointed. You're saying, shoot, that's a dog with fleas. Only 65%? Now, when I was selling mutual funds, if I could have shown you a 65% mutual fund, man, everybody would have gotten that mutual fund. In a couple of years, your money would have more than doubled. In this space, 65% in a year is quite a disappointment. $1,000 times 20 assets in 12 months time, your $20,000 would have profited 293,000. Excuse me, not profit, would have been worth. So your 20,000 would now be worth 293,000. When I finish for this month, we'll see how close we are to that number. But it normally stays in that $250,000 to $300,000 range. Had you had $1,000 times these 20 assets and just walked away like my wife's nurse and forgot about it and came back, you'd have been a third of your way, almost a third of your way to Digi Millionaire status. So here's what I wanted to do in the first half, a little bit more than the first half of this webinar, is I wanted to prove to you beyond any shadow of a doubt, because numbers never lie, that the best way for you to become a Digi Millionaire is for you to build your own coin portfolio. If I have proven that with the numbers, not hype, yes, you heard some passion. I don't want that to be confused with empty emotion. All right. If I've proven that the best way for you to become a Digi Millionaire is for you to have your own coin portfolio, put a CP in your questions box for coin portfolio. CP. Aaron, I've got to have my own coin portfolio. Jeffrey, Jeanette, Jacqueline, Larry, Liesel, Lindsay. A lot of newer names I'm not familiar with. Maria, good. Okay. All right. So now let's move into the second phase of the webinar. All right. Now, our 5-step Digi Millionaire Roadmap, we believe that we can take an average person that doesn't have a lot of resources, and if they will follow our roadmap, we believe in 3 to 5 years, they can be a Digi Millionaire. Okay. If you follow our roadmap, we believe in 3 to 5 years, you can be a Digi Millionaire. So we're not saying you're going to be a Digi Millionaire tomorrow. That won't be the case for most people. Okay. 3 to 5 years. Now, with that being said, we want to get you in a position where well before 3 to 5 years, you're seeing some major results happening for you and your family. All right. So for that, we want to have some nearer term targets. And this is where we're going to transition the conversation to talk about auto Digi profit systems, and one in particular. There'll be multiple ones that we'll want to leverage so that we diversify our resources and don't put all of our eggs in one basket. But there's going to be one tonight we're going to hone in on. Now, with these auto Digi profit systems, we've got 3 targets. Number one, we want to assist you in getting to the point where you have a meaningful monthly cash flow, where you can add to your family's budget, get out of debt, start. Maybe that becomes the car payment money. Maybe that becomes in time the rent or the mortgage money. Maybe that replaces an income. Don't leave your job prematurely. Don't have your spouse leave their job prematurely. We're not going to be like some of the people that are on YouTube and what have you. We're not going to be doing a whole bunch of flashing. All right. We want to be serious business people that make good, sound, quality business financial decisions. Number 2, we want you to have a monthly coin portfolio budget. You may start off with a couple $100 a month, not coming out of your pocket, but coming out of profits. Not out of pocket, but out of profits. Then moving to $500 a month. Then $1,000 a month. So I just said, well, if you had $1,000 parked into 20 of these assets, $20,000 in 12 months, it would have been $293,000. Well, some of you will probably say, well, I don't have $20,000. Well, the goal is to get you to the point where you've got $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in time coin portfolio budget, where all that is set aside for is not getting out of debt, not paying your mortgage, not vacationing. I simply set that aside to build my coin portfolio. Okay. And then we also want you to develop a monthly marketing budget. If you have tried marketing and you have failed, as most people have, and they're just not good at it, okay? Can't recruit enough people, can't sell enough product, what have you. It's likely due to the fact that you don't have a consistent marketing budget. You see, if you had a consistent marketing budget, then you could afford the proper tools and resources that you need, like lead capture page systems, like robust follow-up systems, because most people aren't going to join you in anything, buy anything from you the first time they see or hear the message. So you got to have a robust follow-up sequence and all that other good stuff. And if you had advertising, an advertising budget where you consistently had new eyeballs taking a look at what you have to offer. If you had that, because marketing is just a function of the numbers, all right, the law of averages. Most people just don't go through enough numbers because, you know, they don't have a marketing budget. So we want to help you build a monthly marketing budget so that part can be taken care of, because that's going to allow you to earn some referral commissions. And in earning those referral commissions, that's going to help to accelerate your journey. So let me show you what we're talking about. Okay. So a few months ago, here we were on coinmarketcap.com, and we were going through looking at some of these assets to do some research to see which ones we wanted to add to our coin portfolio. All right, Bitcoin, for instance, Ethereum, so on and so forth. And we were going down the list, going down the list, going down the list, going down the list. And we were doing some analysis on some of these assets, and we came across an asset called BitConnect. All right. And so you can see that BitConnect is right now going for $262.85. All right, so let's put in the prevailing price. All right, and just like you saw me do with Bitcoin, all right, price just went up a little bit. So let's put in the prevailing price of 263.05. Okay, so this is one of the things we teach our most intimate audience on Thursday nights. We have what we call a trading lab. This is where we revealed one of the ICOs that we were participating in, and some of our members were able to get into that ICO. That's the one that we got for $1. Many of our members got for maybe 95 cents to maybe $1.05 or so. And those who are still in it, as many probably still are, have written that up to its current pricing, just under $15. Some 1,400%, 14 times our money in just a few short weeks. All right, we come here, we're going to click on historical data. And what we want to do is we want to see what was the prevailing price when this asset first got listed on CoinMarketCap. Okay, it's going for 263.05 now. How much was it going for? And we're going to do the same quick financial analysis we did on determining rates of return just a few moments ago with Bitcoin. And look at here, this appeared on January 20th of this year. Okay, for just 16 cents. We'll take a look at this. If we take the profit of 263.05, I'm sorry, take the prevailing price of 263.05, subtract out the 16 cents, you come up with a profit of $262.88, almost 89 cents. That's the profit. Well, wait a minute, divide that by what it started off with, and your return, we got to move this decimal 2 places to the right. Let me put this on my whiteboard. I want to make sure you see this. All right, so the figure here is 1607. I'm rounding up, okay? Well, I got to move this decimal 2 places to the right, so we'll get rid of the decimal. Now, wait a minute, I got to put a comma here. This one asset is up 161,000%. If we had just known it and bought the coin and held on to it, it hadn't even been a year. What this really means is that our money would have grown by a factor of 1,616 times. $100 invested in this asset at 16 cents, had we known. $100 invested in this asset would now be worth would have profited 161,000. I never seen nothing like this, ever. $1,000, ladies and gentlemen, parked in this asset would have made you a millionaire in less than a year. $1.6 million. You'd be going on $2 million with $1,000 parked in this asset in less than a year's time. So now, when we first saw this, it wasn't going for 200 and some odd dollars. It was going for like 50. And we were still impressed. This was back late May, early June of this year. And we started doing some research, and we found out that this particular asset called BitConnect had a very unique selling proposition. They exist primarily so that average folks like you and me, and people that maybe have far less resources than you and me, can actually start seeing profits from this niche, this whole Bitcoin niche. And so what happens is they have a trading bot, they have their own internal exchange, okay? And if we lend assets to them, they will then pay us a daily variable rate, and then they'll take that loan, what they borrowed from us, and they'll go out and they'll make money. Well, we know that their coin has gone from 16 cents to now $263. So if all they did was held on to 1 million of their own coins, I saw something the other day. I don't know that if these numbers are correct, but I saw something that suggested that they may have somewhere between 3 to 4 million coins that they held on to. And if that's the case, all right, and it's now going for $263 a coin, just 1 million of the coins means they're worth 263 million bucks. If they've got 2 million of those, 3 million of those, my gosh, they could be Digi billionaires. Who knows? So there's a number of things they could be doing. They have a trading bot. They could be participating in other ICOs. They could be trading their own coin, which would make perfect sense to me. What I care about is them performing, and they have been performing beautifully. So here's how this works. If you were, by the way, here is my disclaimer. If you can't afford to lose it, you can't afford to invest it. If you can't afford to lose it, you can't afford to invest it. By the way, BitConnect has had a major shindig. The young lady who was taking introductions, who's my first cousin, we call her Queen. She, in my stead, I couldn't go because of some things, you know, some family health things. So Queen went in my stead, and thank you, Queen, for doing that. And for our audience, as well as a couple of our other folks, we had some folks from Canada who went, so on and so forth. So they were actually able to go to the big shindig, hobnob with some of the top folks there. They gave away, Queen will talk more about this when she comes on, they gave away millions of dollars in cash and cars, a Lamborghini and Ferrari and all kinds of stuff. All right, so they're doing very, very well financially. All right, here's how this works. If you lend to them $100 to $1,000, you're going to get a variable interest rate paid out to you on a daily basis for the next 299 days. Now, your capital would be committed for the 299 days. You earn daily, and it's a variable interest rate. Depends on what's happening in the markets. The more volatile the markets are, the more you make. When the markets are really smooth and calm and not moving that much, you don't make as much. $1,010 to a $5,000 lend. These are all different lending tiers. All right. You get the same variable interest rate as everyone else. So if today's variable interest rate was 0.96%, everybody got 0.96%. However, if your lend was in this range, 1,010 to 5,000, you're going to get an additional 0.10% kicker, okay, every day. And your capital is on hold for 239 days, about 8 months as opposed to 10 months. 5,010 to 10,000, 0.2% additional bonus interest rate. Okay, so here's the moral of the story. If you've got 5,000, add 10 to it, so you get the extra 0.2% a day, 179 days, about 6 months. And then the grand poobah, 10,010 up to 100,000. So we did our first $10,010 lend back in late June, mid-late June, and our 120 days expired just a few weeks ago. And sure enough, they returned our $10,010. We earned for a period of 120 days interest every day. There were a few days that we didn't get any interest from the variable interest rate because the market just didn't move, but we did pick up our 0.25% even when we did not earn any variable interest. And for 120 days, like clockwork, 24 hours, every 24 hours, our interest was paid out to our wallet. We could withdraw it, we could relend it. You could do a combination of that. So let me show you how this works, and then Queen is going to come on and she's going to assist me with this. So I got to do this quick because I'm a little bit past my time. Okay, of where I want it to be. All right, so here you can see, here's the variable interest rate over the last 5 days. 1.34% a few days ago, 0.95, 0.96, 1.76%. What's being applied today, 1.5%. What happens today is going to be reflected 2 days from now. All right, so this is why we know what's going to happen tomorrow. That's based on what happened a couple days ago. Okay. All right. So now, real quickly, let me show you how this works. I'm going to set our calculator to 6 months. This is going to show us if the average variable interest rate the last 6 months has been 0.96% a day. So if we had $100 and our capital is at work for 299 days, we hit calculate. All right. So if we were able to average the same 0.96% over the next 6 months, over the next 10 months that we've averaged the last 6, then this $100 without any impact of compounding, and Queen's going to show you the power of compounding in a moment, would have made $287.04 over that 10-month stretch. Okay. So every day you're earning a little interest, earning some interest. Okay. At the end of the 10 months, no compounding included, your $100 would have been returned back to you. So your $100 basically would be worth $387.04. That's without compounding. Queen's going to show you the power of compounding in a moment. I want to show you real quickly the impact of those added interest bonuses. Okay, when you do $1,010 lend or higher, $1,010, but not $5,010. We calculate that, you'll see that little extra interest right there. All right. And that becomes significant over time. That becomes significant. So look, in 8 months, your 1010 at the average interest rate, $2,558 in profit. This is pure profit here. This is pure profit. Then your $1,010 would be returned to you. So without the impact of compounding, $3568.73 would be your ending result. Then you could choose to do what I did, because I like getting paid every day. All right, whether I do a webinar or not, whether I recruit anybody or not, whether I refer anybody or not, whether I send out an email or not, I like getting paid every day. All right, especially in those times when my where I've got to turn my attention to weightier matters of life, and I don't get any or very little business in for the last week and a half. Okay, I still got paid from BitConnect and got paid well. I mean, these are great. All of these, with the exception of what's going to happen tomorrow, all of these are average or above interest rates. Okay, real quickly, 5,010. Okay, that'd be 179 days, about 6 months. Calculate, you see that 0.2 there? So 5,010 making 10 grand if we were able to hit this average interest rate that we've seen the last 6 months. At the end of 6 months, you get your 5,010 bucks back. No impact of compounding. Queen's going to show us that 15,412 bucks. And then one last one, 10,010. 120 days. Calculate. 120 days, 4 months, 14,000 bucks. Profit, then you get your 10,000 back. So I recommitted, I redeployed my 10,010 for another cycle. I refer to it as a cycle. You know, that's going to be another 120 days that I earn day after day after day. And likely when that cycle is up, I'll likely deploy it again, because I like earning day after day after day, whether I'm there or not. Okay. Now I want to show one last thing, and then Queen's going to talk about compounding. Now, I know a lot of you have struggled in marketing, and we are going to help you get rid of that struggle. I'm going to show you inside of 2 accounts of 2 of our members that allow, either they send it to me, or in one case, they actually allow me to log in and take a picture. Okay. Here's one of our members back on July the 23rd. They put 1010 in the system, and they've been compounding. Queen's going to show you compounding in a moment. When you do your initial lend of a minimum of 100 bucks, when you accrue in the system at least $10 worth of either interest or commissions, if you build a referral network or both, you're able to relend that. So it doesn't have to build up to 100. You can relend in $10 increments. And that allows you to really build your account. So this person started back on July the 23rd. By the way, look at what the coin was going for back then, $64. Okay. We got a very up-to-date version of theirs. They now have an active investment of $29.40. Well, they only put in $1,010 themselves. You can see here they have no affiliate commissions, none whatsoever. So this is just a function of them compounding since July the 23rd. Now they're about at the point now that they're generating about $900 a month or so in just their interest. In another 2-3 weeks, they'll probably hit the $1,000 mark that they'll be earning just in their interest on their active balance. Okay. Now, the other account I'm going to show you, someone who is actively building the referral network. They got started a month earlier. They invested about the same amount. They invested $1,150, I think it was, or maybe $1,160. But I want you to see, all right, so you can see here, they did one investment here of 100, another one of 1,050 back on June the 28th. The previous account was July the 23rd. But I want you to see the difference because they've begun to develop a referral network. Look at this. Their active investment is up to $34,000. They started 1 month earlier. They invested $100 more. Why is their account more than 10 times larger than the other? Because of this right here. So even if you have struggled at the whole marketing game, by the way, they're at the point they're probably doing about $10,000 a month now, just in interest, based on this balance. They're at about $10,000 a month, and they're probably generating about another $1,500 to maybe $2,000 in affiliate commissions. You know what? Probably more than that, because they've generated $25,000 just since when was it? June, end of June. All right, so we're in the 6 month, we're in 5. So in 5, no, gosh, wow, they're doing about $5,000 a month. I don't even think they know that. They're doing about $5,000 a month right now in commissions. So they're probably up to about $15,000 a month, about $10,000 in interest earnings, and let's call it $5,000 a month in commissions. That's powerful. This is what we want to ultimately get you. Okay. All right. So Queen, how about you take the lyrical miracles coming. Queen, how about you take the screen and let's show the good folks about compounding. Wow. That's powerful. Want to get you here, Mark and beyond. Joe, want to get you here. John, want to get you here. Florence, Francis, Flo, talking to you now. Candace, Carlton, Charles and Christine and Clifton and Colleen or Colleen. All right, Queen, I'm going to shut up. And how about you tell us what we're looking at, please?
All right, you're looking at a spreadsheet. And this is a $100 investment. And we're going to call it, they made the $100 investment today. And what you'll see is that each day's interest being added up. And then every time $10, they get a total of $10 in their lending wallet, they make a reinvestment. Now, Doc showed you earlier where on the calculator that you made a $100 investment and you made $280 some odd dollars or 90 some odd dollars in your 299 days, correct?
Exactly.
So I'm going to show you here where if you compound it for 299 days, the difference. And I think you're going to like that difference. So just $100 and 299 days later, let's see what that $100 is. And you compound it. Every time you got $10, you reinvested it. Big difference. Power of compounding. Power of compounding. And so, and on a 300th day, you would get your $100 back. You could reinvest it and then just begin it all over again. And so let's say you compound it for another cycle of 299 days. So that would take you to 598 days. Is that correct, Doc?
Yes, that's right.
So let's go to 598 days and see where your $100 is. Doc, all we did was compound everything that we got in. We turned around and put it back. 598 days later, less than 2 years, you're at $19,997. And Doc, your daily earnings is $179. How about we look at how much that is per month?
Oh. Oh.
And that is if you took every dime out. Now, if you divide that in half, put half back in, then you would actually be taking out $2,699. Well, let's call it $2,700.
Yeah, Queen. Let me do this real quickly so people will know what we teach. Now, what you do is totally different because you're big boys and big girls. Okay, but here's what we like to do. We want to get you to a point where you can initiate a withdrawal strategy. And so here's what we're doing in our personal business. You feel free to copy as much or as little as you would like. So Queen, we get to a point where we've identified where we want to be with our account when we start our withdrawal strategy. When we start our withdrawal strategy, we would draw out 50% of whatever our earnings are for the month. And that will include any commissions as well as our interest earnings, okay? And we can draw that out daily, we can draw it out weekly, however you want to do it, okay? You can withdraw out multiple times a day if you like. So Queen, in that example, it was like 5,000 and some change, 5,300, I think it was. And
right.
if we withdrew out the 2,699, let's call it 2,700 for nice round math. Here's how we like to break that up so that we have money going to our family budget. We've got money going towards our coin portfolio budget monthly, and we've got money going towards a marketing budget monthly, okay? So we like to take half of what you see there. So Queen, how about we take half of that? So in our example, we're taking out half or 50% of whatever we earn from the system that month. Once we build our account up to a certain level where we want to take out half. And of the half that we take out, okay, we split that in half. And this $1,349 would now go to our family's monthly budget. So we would use essentially $1,350 to, maybe that's the car payment now, or maybe that pays the rent or the mortgage payment or what have you, okay? Do some great things with it. Let's not just spend it all frivolously, all right? Then what you would have is $1,349 left because we had 5,000. We took out half of that, whatever that amount, like $2,699. Of the $2,699, we took half of that. That was our family budget. And now the other $1,349 in this example, or half, gets split two ways. One half of it goes to our coin portfolio budget. So now you've got a $675 a month coin portfolio budget. You're buying some Bitcoin, you're buying some Ethereum. You come to our live webinars on Thursday nights where we talk about specific assets that we're adding. Maybe it's an ICO, maybe it's an existing asset, so on and so forth. And now you've got resources to participate and build your own coin portfolio, which obviously we spent more time talking about that than anything on tonight. And then we take the other half and we apply that towards marketing. So now we start building an advertising budget on a monthly basis. We have hired a search traffic agency, and boy, are they thorough. They have gone through our content, and they have done mock-up after mock-up after mock-up, doing some testing as we speak right now, and we'll be turning on the traffic full scale very soon. What they're doing now is they're optimizing the campaign. So you don't have to know much about traffic generation. If you become an intimate part of our following, you can be a part of one of our advertising co-ops, where all you do is you just put up the money and let them do what they do in terms of doing all the hard work. You get the leads. A percentage of those leads are going to join, and because they'll be your leads, a percentage of those people are going to join you. All right, Queen, I know we got to hurry things up.
Yes, we did.
let's look at the 1,010.
Okay.
The difference in not compounding and then compounding.
Okay. So when you actually invest $1,010, you do it for 239 days. So the compounding, I think it was you earn about $2,500, not compounding, just getting your money. So let's go for 239 days. And that's 8 months. Well, actually, it's less than 8 months. Where's your 1,010?
Wow.
If you compounded it daily, if you took everything that you received, all your daily earnings, and put it back, you would be at approximately $10,740. That's with an average of 0.9% plus the bump of 0.1%. Wow, Doc, isn't it?
Queen, that's over $3,000 a month.
It is. Because you're actually earning more than $100 a day.
Wow.
So,
and so if you did the 50-50 at that point, you're talking $1,500 that you're withdrawing out, $750 going to your family. For a lot of people, that that's at least a car payment, if not rent or partial mortgage payment. The other $750 being split between your coin portfolio and your marketing budget, which is just going to help you grow faster because you're going to ultimately start having some people joining you. They're participating. We haven't even talked about the referral side of things. Just know that's very healthy. Back to you, Queen.
Okay, so if you and let's go ahead and do double that. I mean, we'll just go to the next 239 days. We're just going to go to the next term and see what that looks like. 478. That's correct. Day 478. If you continue to compound it without taking anything out, where could you be? Now I'm going to stop there and let's move on over to 5,000.
That's over $30,000 a month.
Exactly, but we're just gonna because I just wanted you to see the number, and just taking it and compounding it, how you can grow. The power of compounding, Doc.
Yeah, that's what I want people to get. The magic of compound interest. My gosh.
Okay. So now at 5,010, your investment stays in for 179 days, and you saw that you actually tripled your money by the end of your term before, meaning that you earned another $10,000 on top of your 5. So here, for 179 days, that's just under 8 months. Where are you? Where are you, Doc?
35,000, and that puts you well over $10,000 a month. That puts you well over.
Well, I mean, but you actually, that's 7 times what you started with, isn't it?
Yeah. Versus not compounding and being at, what was it, 15?
15,000. That's exactly right.
I mean, you earn maybe 10 grand.
I mean, 10 grand is great. There's nothing wrong with 10 grand.
Oh yeah.
For 179 days, for less than 6 months. Okay, let's go another 179, which would be 358.
It's not even a full year, huh?
Not a full year. Where's your $5,000?
Whoa.
Where's your daily income?
You're at about $75,000 a month right there.
Okay. So and
listen, if that figure is too big for you, that just means you need to keep coming to our webinars. That's all that means.
Absolutely.
You just need to get around people that have done that, okay? Because we've done that. All right.
Absolutely.
All right. You need to be around people that have done that can stretch your vision. That's all that means.
And this is less than a year. 358 days.
Now, here's the thing. All right, you see that those are big numbers, but remember I just showed you with BitConnect. Had you had just $1,000 invested in BitConnect in its ICO, 16 cents, all right, when it first started trading, you would be worth $1.6 million. So this number is actually very conservative compared to what could have happened.
Had you owned the coin.
Had you just held on to the coin and just held on to it. So I can tell you, Queen, that there are other platforms that have come about since BitConnect because of the success of BitConnect, where we're doing a dual play. We're buying the coin to hold on to it for the long haul. Maybe it becomes another BitConnect. Okay. Maybe you have a 97-cent asset that runs up to $97 in an incredible short period of time. That's what happened. We sold some of it out at 88, the bulk of it out at 88. You know, maybe we have one of those, and then we also want to participate in lending as well.
Let's move on, Doc.
10,000. Gotcha.
$10,010.
Okay.
$10,010, 120 days. And you saw that you earned in 120 days 14,000 or 15,000 before. Okay, so we're going to take it and compound it for 120 days. And where would you be, Doc?
Okay, so you're at 39. That puts you at
4 months. That's only 4 months away.
That's almost $12,000 a month in interest only. Okay, Queen, I gotta say this real quickly. I know we gotta go. So we had one of our members, and would you know it, he's a doggone Cowboy fan, but I love my Cowboy fans too. I just hate the Cowboys. We had one of our members, all right, who got on our webinars, became a part of our intimate following, participated in one of the ICOs that we were telling folks we were participating in. Obviously, do your own due diligence and don't invest what you can't afford to lose, so on and so forth. And he probably got it at about $1. I know it was going for less than that at some point. Then it went up to maybe $1.05. Let's say he got it for $1. He got 1,500 of the tokens, and currently, as of right before we were on the webinar, it was worth just under $22,000. Okay. Now we've had some very brief discussions through our system here, and one of the things he's strongly considering is ultimately lending $10,010 of that into a lending platform. Could be all BitConnect, could be the current platform where he's, you know, generated that huge amount, or a combination of two, so on and so forth. All right, let's just say it was BitConnect for a moment. And I don't know exact his situation. Let's say, Queen, he put $10,010 into BitConnect 1, and he compounded it for the first 120 days. And then he said, okay, at that point, I want a withdrawal strategy. I'm not saying he's going to do this. I don't know. Okay. Now, mind you, that would only be about half of what his asset base is right now, because he's up to about $22,000 from a $1,500 investment. But Queen, in about 4 months, he'd have about $12,000 a month just in interest.
Mm-hmm.
If he then initiated the 50-50 withdrawal strategy, $6,000, okay, that he withdraws out on a monthly basis, takes half of that, and that goes to his family's budget. So now he's got $3,000 a month that's just going for his family's budget. Now, be mindful, what was his initial investment? $1,500 into an ICO. He's seen major results from that, and he's considering taking $10,010 to do some type of lending with BitConnect, or maybe a combination of other platforms that have now come into the marketplace. Then that leaves him another $3,000. So now he takes half of that, let's say $1,500. Now that becomes his coin portfolio budget monthly. So maybe there's another ICO play he can make. Maybe there's other coins that are not an ICO, but we believe that long term they're going to have a lot. I mean, look, one of my favorite assets called Dash is up 4,300% in the last 12 months. That wasn't an ICO. That was just growth of the coin. Another one of my favorite assets is up 5,371% in the last 12 months. That wasn't an ICO. That was just an asset. And both of those assets are assets that he may very well want to have in his coin portfolio. Then, Queen, he would have $1,500 a month as a marketing budget. Queen, if he's got $1,500 a month, most of that going towards advertising, he's going to get eyeballs on his offer. And oh, by the way, he's already committed to me that he and I will do a private webinar where he will tell his story, and we're going to package that, and make that as one of our sales pages. So could you imagine? All right. And we won't say his full name. That way, nobody's going to go and join him on Facebook instead of joining you, John, Mary, Susie. Could you imagine having a promotional piece where he's talking about how this system has allowed him to take $1,500 and parlay this? Queen, that one trade could change the financial landscape for he and his family for at least his generation, if not more.
Absolutely. Because Doc, if we take it one more term, one more cycle,
I gotta see it. I gotta see it.
You have to see it. You sure?
I gotta see it. We're only talking about 8 months now. I gotta see it.
Yeah, we really are only talking 8 months. So 240 days, 8 months. Doc.
153. That's over a $45,000 a month. Gosh, Cowboy, you hear that? Oh, now Queen, let's initiate the 50-50 strategy. Let's see what happens. 26,000. All right, half of that goes to his family's budget. Let's see that. Gosh, look at that. All right. Oh my gosh. All right. Then we're going to take the other 13,000, split that in half. What's his coin portfolio budget per month? He's got a $6,634 coin portfolio budget. Is he going to become a millionaire?
Well, Doc, he can claim it right this minute.
Yeah. He's going. Ladies and gentlemen, if what has happened the last 7 years happens the next 3-4 years, this dude, who I don't know if he's even referred anybody to anything yet. I don't know. This dude will be 3 years from now, 2 years from now, 5, whatever. He's going to be a Digi millionaire. Numbers never lie, ladies and gentlemen. Numbers never lie. So Queen, he took 1,500. It's worth about 22,000. If he said, okay, let me lend 10,010 and let me just let it ride for 8 months, he still has over $10,000 that he can take out and do some stuff for his family and what have you. Wow.
In 8 months.
Wow. All right, we got a round third. Queen, I'm going to take back the screen so I can show people how to get started if they're new with this.
Okay.
And then we'll have a very quick, and I do mean very quick, optional Q&A.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, if you are visiting with us, we've got a system that we call CRB Digi Millionaires. This is our most intimate following. One of the things that you get as a CRB Digi Millionaire member is you're going to get ongoing training in your journey. You're going to be able to attend our weekly trading labs. We do these on Thursday nights. Next week, there's a major holiday in the U.S., Thanksgiving. Boy, already. Is it next week?
It's next week. It's next week, Doc.
Okay. So next week,
no trading lab on Thursday.
Not Thursday. We're going to do a trading lab on Tuesday instead of next Thursday. We will have a trading lab. I don't want to cheat you. I want to make sure you get your stuff. All right, you get what you're paying for. It was in this trading lab that we introduced that particular asset. It was in this trading lab, this upcoming trading lab, where we will talk about no less than 2 assets: one ICO, one non-ICO, and one I want to refresh ICO. So we're really going to talk about 2 ICOs. One we've talked about in the past that I want to remind you of. A second one that we've never discussed with our audience. And then we're going to talk about something that's got nothing to do with ICOs, all right, to help you build your coin portfolio budget. Access to our advertising co-ops. Everything that we do is comprised in our membership. And our membership is, you get to test it out for 7 days for just $1. And thereafter, it's just $50 a month. I shudder to think if Cowboy had not been a member of Digi Millionaires because he squabbled about little $50. It's likely he would not have known anything about that particular transaction. But it's not just enough to know about that transaction. You want to know, all right, well, what are we doing with it? You know, you don't have to follow exactly what we're doing, but I can tell you, Queen, I'm there. I haven't sold out of that particular coin. I believe it's going to go higher. I am going to lend some. Um, and so I'll do a combination with that particular platform. But when we have new things on the horizon, we let you know. All right. So you're going to get back to the person who referred you. Take a test drive for $1. Okay. Now, when you get to this page, little 8-minute video here, watch it. Little 2-minute video here. Please watch this or you're going to muff things up. You're going to mess it up. You're going to miss a very key step, and then your portal won't get set up automatically. That'll frustrate you, and that'll frustrate our support. So please watch this 2-minute video. Okay. Then the system we've talked about tonight, BitConnect. You can click here to join, and that should take you directly to your referrers BitConnect page. Then there's another Auto Digi profit system that we did not even discuss tonight. We call it our companion system. All right, click here to join. Go on and join it as well. You can join both of those for free. Once you come into our system, we'll walk you through how to fund our flagship, the one that we talked about on tonight. All right, so I'm going to stop there, Queen. Let's open it up for 15 minutes of Q&A.
Okay, there's a question about the spreadsheet and the amount of the bump and all of that good stuff. If you noticed when Doc did the calculator, the average was more than the 0.9%. So that little bump it doesn't really matter as much as you might think as far as the calculation is concerned. The calculation is just an average for whatever term it is, and that's all you're looking at is it is just an average, and the past results does not tell you what the future might be. Okay, so things can change. They do change on a daily basis because it is a variable interest rate that we're paid in BitConnect. Just to make sure everybody understands that. Okay. Is it okay, Doc? Did I say that?
Yep.
Okay. Will BitConnect be around for another year?
I think. Well, Queen, you went there. I think BitConnect's going to be around a lot more than a year.
I do.
Queen, you went there. Tell me what you saw.
Okay.
Tell us your feeling.
Let me just. I saw money. That was number one. They went all out. They gave away a lot. There are people all around the world. There were 14 countries represented there. And I do believe, and the things that they have planned for us is huge. I mean, starting December 1, Doc, we're going to have a debit card.
That's huge.
That's really huge.
That's huge.
We're going to have a debit card to put our money on. And we can spend it wherever Visa, MasterCard is taken. So BitConnect will be here, I'm pretty sure. Now, I'm not a fortune teller. So we're, just going by what we saw there and what they were doing and what they were offering and what they have planned for our future. They will be here. And there's no reason for them to go anywhere.
Good stuff. Okay.
And Doc, we're going to do like 7 more minutes.
Okay.
For the Ether wallet, I sent Ethereum there. Okay, I think that's not a question for this particular webinar.
Was that Carolina?
Yes.
Hey, Carolina, I saw that. Carolina, I haven't had my intent was to do a video to show you how to participate in that specific ICO that you were sending Ethereum to. And unfortunately, I just have not had the chance. I did not know that the training was going to be like all day, every day. And I just haven't had a chance to do that. Okay. What I would say to you, as it relates to that particular, there are an ICO that we just talked about this past week. There's another one we're going to talk about this coming week. If you've never sent Ethereum from that wallet, I don't want you to make a mistake. So I'd rather you be safe than sorry. So if you don't feel comfortable sending Ethereum from that particular wallet for that ICO that we talked about, then just hold off on that ICO. There'll be others. Don't worry about it. All right. So take that for what that's worth. Okay. And I'm sorry, I just haven't had the time. Unfortunately. Next question, Queen.
Doc, if I follow you, how do I get your link?
Okay. Is that William?
Yes.
Hey, William, I was check your Facebook, William. At some point, ladies and gentlemen, we will have a Facebook group or some type of group for our following, probably as we get into the new year.
Okay. This is a testimonial.
I want to hear it. Testify.
I made a $100 investment 116 days ago. My $100 investment is now $410.
Ah, there you go. There you go. Awesome. Awesome. Congratulations, Robert. Congratulations, my friend.
Any ICO or other questions are really related to the trading lab on Thursday night, so I can't ask or answer those questions.
Come see me in 2 days. And I saw somebody.
And
I'll say to Robert, I don't know which Robert this was. You asked about one that's got a bird as a mascot. We will talk about that on Thursday in depth. I really like what I see with that one.
Okay. Will this webinar be recorded, and then how can I use it if it is?
Actually, we did not record tonight because we've already got a recording essentially in our system. If you are a Digi Millionaire, let me show you. What we've done is we've taken this content and we've broken it down into 2 modules. So if you come back in your CRB Digi Millionaire back office and click on my web pages, go over here to categories, and then click on sales presentation page. All right. And all you've got to do is click on here to give you your URL with your embedded links in there. Just make sure you put your links in the system. All right. So what this is essentially our 2-part webinar, where the first half of the webinar, we talked about developing your own coin portfolio, 5-step Digi Millionaire Roadmap, so on and so forth. And then the second part of the webinar, we focused on BitConnect. So what we did tonight is already recorded, and you can start, using this right away. Okay, you can use this right away. And again, that was in your back office under my web pages, under sales presentation pages, and then here we go. Okay. Okay.
All right. Doc, that's all that we have time for.
Okay. Okay. Let's finish with this. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your patience, and hopefully you've been paying attention to our emails. If you are a CRB Digi Millionaire member, the best way to get support is through your support ticket system in your back office. As you scroll down, you'll see right here, this gives you a support ticket system. We give priority to support tickets. Support has been slow because I'm not available. I haven't been available for the last week and a half throughout the day. So when we were finally available, okay, we would work on things related to marketing, get things back to our search traffic agency, get things back to our programmer so he can program some pages and some tracking things, and starting with some of the initial stages of the traffic testing. Okay. Over the weekend, I think it was Sunday, or maybe it was yesterday, we did make sure that all support tickets that had come through by maybe 4 or 5 o'clock on yesterday, those were all taken care of. But I know there's a boatload of emails. So ladies and gentlemen, just bear with us. Make sure you use the support ticket system. And just as soon as we can get back 100% in the saddle and we can move support along quicker, we will do so. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your understanding. On Thursday night, we will have our regular 2 webinars. If you are new and you're just going to be joining with us, you can get you can do review under the Digi Trading Lab section. If you go under November 2017, you'll look at the last 2 trading labs that we did, the recommendations that we made, what we're adding to our coin portfolio. As a matter of fact, there is an ICO that's going on right now that, oh, can't show that on screen. That's premium stuff. Okay, but there is an ICO going on right now. We talked about it in depth, and we even did a training that we put back there that shows you how to participate. All right, if you know how, if you already have Bitcoin, then all you got to do is follow that training. If you don't have Bitcoin, then come on the webinar on Thursday. We'll show you where to go in here to be able to get Bitcoin so you can participate in that ICO. Plus, we've got a new one that we're going to share with you this week. Refresh you on a previous one that we've talked about, and share another, if I hope time permits, share another asset that's got nothing to do with the ICOs. Just an asset that I believe all of you should consider having in your coin portfolio. All right. So with that being said, we love each and every one of you. Let's change the world together, starting with yours. Let's get to the Digi. My gosh, millionaire status and queen every day can be what?
It could be payday, Doc.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.